AITA for not listening to the love of my life when she tells me to date her sister? Okay, so I don't even know where to start with this because I feel like I've completely messed up, but at the same time, I don't know if I'm really the a-hole here or if I'm just in an incredibly messed up situation. I, 23M, started dating Sarah, fake name, 22F, a couple of months ago. We met through mutual uni friends, and although I didn't feel a super strong connection, I kept hanging out because I wasn't really seeing anyone else and it was just nice to have someone to go home with after events. A few weeks into dating Sarah, I met Kate, fake name, 24F, at a party Sarah threw with her flatmates. We spent hours talking, and I found myself feeling this insane connection to her that I didn't feel with Sarah. We laughed like we'd known each other forever, and had so many similar interests, and basically she ticked off all my little wants and needs boxes for quote/unquote, the one. I tried to ignore it because I didn't want to hurt Sarah, but the more I saw Kate, the more I was in love with her. Now, here's the really messed up part, Sarah has no idea about any of this. I've been keeping it from her, dating her while also seeing Kate in secret. I know it's horrible, and I feel like a piece of shit for doing this, but I honestly didn't know how to stop. I've been avoiding Sarah a lot lately because I can't stop thinking about Kate. Last weekend, Sarah invited me to a family dinner at her place, and I thought it would be a casual evening. But then I walk in, and Kate is there. I was completely blindsided, they're literally FNG sisters. I had no idea. After dinner, Kate pulled me aside and just straight up demanded that I never tell Sarah about us and stay with her. She told me that Sarah had been going through a lot lately, especially with her mental health. She's been feeling really down about being single for a long time and has been talking about how depressed she's been about never finding someone who really loves her. Kate said that Sarah has been counting on me and that I couldn't just leave her for Kate because it would crush her. Kate said she was willing to step aside if it meant Sarah would be happy, even though she knew I was in love with her, but I can't do it. I love Kate so much, and what am I meant to do, stay with Sarah forever while pining over her literal sister? AITA if I tell Sarah about Kate? Or do I follow Kate's instruction? Help.
NTA, but you're in a seriously messed up situation, and I think you already know that. Here's the thing, you're right to be torn, but you can't keep doing this to Sarah. You've been hiding things from her and treating her like a placeholder while you've been in love with her sister. That's not fair to Sarah, even though I totally get how you got there. You've basically been living a lie, and at this point, it's going to hurt her way more if you don't come clean now. She's going to feel completely betrayed when she finds out the truth, especially since you've been dating her under false pretenses. As for Kate, I think you need to seriously think about why she's telling you to stay with Sarah for her mental health instead of being honest. It sounds like she wants to protect Sarah at all costs, but in doing so, she's putting you in a position where you're trapped in this impossible situation. It's also really messed up for her to ask you to stay with Sarah out of guilt. That's not love, that's manipulation. But I do get it. You love Kate, and staying with Sarah feels wrong now. You've already made up your mind, I can tell. But you've got to be honest with both of them, even though it will suck and hurt like hell in the short term. You've got to own up to the situation you created, no matter how painful. It's time to be a grown-up and take responsibility for the mess you've made. At this point, the best thing you can do is end things with Sarah gently, and be open and honest about how things have evolved. You don't want to drag her along when you're in love with her sister. It's going to be hard, but it's the right thing to do. Also, if you truly love Kate, then it's time for both of you to stop playing these games and talk things through honestly, without any more secrets. Good luck, OP. But whatever happens, don't let this drag on any longer. You're already hurting both of them, and the longer you wait, the worse it's going to be.
Update, AITA for not listening to the love of my life when she tells me to date her sister? Alright, I really wasn't expecting things to blow up this badly. I've been processing everything, and, wow, I honestly feel like I've walked right into a shit show of my own making. Thanks to all of you who gave me tough love, turns out, I definitely needed it. So, here's where I'm at now. After reading your comments, I realized I had to come clean. I called Sarah, told her everything, and, as expected, it was a disaster. She was absolutely crushed. I could see her heart break in real time when I admitted that I'd fallen in love with her sister, Kate. She didn't yell, but I could tell she was devastated. She was still in shock, just asking me if I really thought she deserved to be treated this way. I could barely get the words out. She was super calm, but it felt like my soul was slowly being drained with every word. We ended things. She said we're done, and I don't blame her at all. Honestly, I was expecting way worse, but she handled it with way more grace than I deserved. She said she needed space and that she hoped I'd really learn from this. And I agreed. I deserved it. Now, here's the part one didn't expect at all. After that conversation with Sarah, I texted Kate and told her we needed to meet up to talk. We met at her place, and I should have known. I should have known that she'd be so much more angry than I anticipated. I tried to explain to her that I had to be honest with Sarah, that it felt like the right thing to do. That I was genuinely sorry for everything, for putting them both through this mess. But Kate? She didn't want to hear any of it. She just kept repeating that I'd ruined everything and that I'd completely betrayed her trust. I tried to apologize again, but she was furious. She just went off on me, saying that I'd dragged Sarah through the mud and now I was ruining everything she had with me, too. And then, this is where it got really crazy. She stormed off, came back with a trash bag, and started throwing every single one of my things into it. My hoodie, my shoes, some of my stuff I'd left at her place. Everything. She was so mad she could barely even look at me. I stood there, completely frozen. She was throwing my stuff in the bin, telling me how selfish and pathetic I was for thinking I could play both of them. And, to be honest, I couldn't even defend myself. I had been selfish. I didn't deserve anything else from her. She told me to get out. She said she didn't want to see me anymore. She even told me, and I quote, "I'm done. Don't ever try to contact me again." She slammed the door in my face. So, here I am, with no one, and I feel like such a fool. I've hurt Sarah, I've hurt Kate, and I've burned every bridge I've built in this messed up situation. I thought coming clean would make things right, but all it did was expose how deeply I've fucked up. I don't know if I'll ever be able to fix things with either of them. IGE.
AITA for not telling my fiancé about my feelings for my best friend? I really need some outside perspective on this, because I feel like I'm losing control of everything. I, 28F, am engaged to my fiancée Maya, 30F, and we've been together for almost 3 years. Maya is everything I've ever wanted in a partner. We're getting married next year and Maya is in prep to do IVF so we can start a family together. But here's where it gets complicated. I have this best friend, Ethan, 29M. We've been friends for about 7 years, and I've always seen him as just that, my best friend. We've always had a really strong connection, but it's never crossed into anything romantic. I had suspicions that he may have had feelings for me when we first met, but never acted on them because he knew I was gay. So we've always remained just friends. Earlier this year, Ethan and I were in a car accident. It was almost fatal. We were T-boned by another driver running a red light, and the crash was bad. The car was wrecked, and I ended up with some bruised ribs, a sprained ankle, but Ethan was way worse. He was knocked unconscious for a while, and it was so bad that the paramedics weren't even sure if he was going to make it. I spent the longest 15 minutes of my life waiting to hear that he was okay. Thankfully, he pulled through, but I've been shaken by it. So much more than I thought I would be. And since then, something shifted between us. I can't explain it. When he woke up in the hospital, he was so out of it, and I remember holding his hand just like I'd done a million times before, but this time it felt different. Since then, I've been feeling like I'm in love with him. Every time I see him, I get these butterflies. I find myself thinking about him all the time, even though I'm engaged to Maya. I've tried to push it down, but I can't. It's like I'm almost obsessed with Ethan now. Every time he texts me or calls me, I feel this flutter in my chest, like I want more than just friendship. I've never had feelings like this before, and it's terrifying. I can't even imagine telling Maya, because I know it will hurt her, and I feel like I'd be betraying her. I'm so deeply in love with Maya, I've never wanted anyone else more, but I can't ignore what I'm feeling for Ethan. It's like the accident changed something in me, and now I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. AITA, if I just never speak on these feelings? Should I be telling Maya? Is there some way this is all just some weird messed up response to the fear I was going to lose Ethan?
NTA, but you need to talk to Maya. First of all, I'm really sorry you're going through this. I can't even imagine how complicated and overwhelming this must feel. The fact that you're reaching out for perspective shows that you care, and that you don't want to hurt anyone, so that's already a good sign. Now, about the feelings you're having for Ethan, it's totally normal to have a shift in emotional dynamics after a traumatic event like what you experienced with the car accident. People's priorities and feelings sometimes change when faced with life or death situations. The connection you felt during that moment, the fear of losing him, could have triggered something deeper than just friendship. That doesn't mean your feelings for Maya are any less real, but it could explain the intensity of what you're feeling toward Ethan right now. It's probably not a case of I'm suddenly straight, but more like your emotions got tangled up because of the trauma you experienced. However, not telling Maya about these feelings is where things start to get tricky. You've been together for years, and you're engaged to her. You've built a life together and are planning a future. That kind of foundation deserves honesty. Whether it's telling her right now, or after you've had more time to figure out how to deal with these feelings, she deserves to know what's going on. Not because you necessarily want to act on your feelings for Ethan, but because hiding this is an emotional burden you're placing on yourself, and it's bound to affect your relationship with Maya whether you realize it or not. She will feel something is off, especially if you're avoiding talking about Ethan or becoming more distant. That said, this doesn't necessarily mean you need to make drastic decisions immediately. You're going through a tough emotional situation, and it's okay to take some time to fully process everything. But being open with Maya about what you're experiencing is a crucial step in figuring out how to move forward. Relationships can survive tough conversations, especially if you're both committed to working through it. The way she responds might be really difficult, but you can't work through something in the dark. You're not an asshole for feeling conflicted or for being uncertain. You're a human navigating complex emotions. But when you love someone, part of that is being honest and vulnerable, even when it's scary. I don't think you're in love with Ethan in the way you're in love with Maya, but you have to be honest with yourself and with her to avoid letting this situation spiral. Good luck. Take care of yourself and try to figure out what you need before making decisions that affect others. You'll get through this, but don't do it alone.
Update, AITA, for not telling my fiancé about my feelings for my best friend? First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone who took the time to respond to my post. Honestly, reading your comments helped me more than I can say. I know it's a pretty messed up situation, and I really needed some perspective, and you all gave me so much to think about. I've spent the last couple of days trying to process everything and figure out the best way to handle this. It's been hard, like, really hard. But I realized that the longer I let this go unaddressed, the more it's going to hurt everyone involved, especially Maya. So, I did something I've been avoiding for a while. I had the talk with her. I was scared. Honestly, terrified. I didn't know how to bring it up or what she would say. But I knew it was the right thing to do, no matter how uncomfortable it would make me. So, I told Maya everything, about the accident, about how it affected me, about my feelings for Ethan, and about the confusion I've been feeling. I told her I was still in love with her, but that I felt something shift inside me after the crash, and I didn't know what it meant. I basically laid it all out. It was a lot. She was quiet at first, which scared me even more. But after a long pause, she just said, "Thank you for being honest with me." And then she asked me to give her some time to process everything. I think I was bracing for anger, or for her to walk out, but Maya's reaction was calm, way more than I expected. She said she appreciated that I was trying to be honest instead of hiding it from her, and that while she was hurt, she understood that emotions can be complicated, especially after a traumatic experience. She's given me some space to think things through, and we're taking things day by day right now. She hasn't left me, and we're still talking, but I know this is going to take time. I'm trying not to pressure her for answers, and she's told me she's not ready to make any big decisions yet, which I completely understand. As for Ethan, I haven't told him yet. He knows that something's been off, but I'm waiting until I've figured things out more. I don't want to do anything impulsive, especially now that Maya knows. To be honest, I'm still trying to understand what's going on with me. The feelings for Ethan haven't gone away, but I also know that just because I feel a certain way right now, doesn't mean it's something I should act on. I don't want to hurt Maya, and I don't want to mess up everything we've built. I'm not sure where things are going with Maya and I, but I feel like I'm on the right path by being honest with her. I'm not sure how it will all play out, but at least I can breathe a little easier now that the truth is out. I'll keep you all updated as things progress, but for now, I just wanted to say thank you again for all the advice. It meant more than you know. AITA for cheating on my husband, with a millionaire, to get luxury items, to sell, and lying about it being from a side hustle. So, 28F, have been married to my husband, 32M, for 5 years. We've got 2 kids and a pretty solid relationship overall. He's a great guy, works hard, and I do love him. We've always struggled a bit financially, living paycheck to paycheck, but we make it work. He works away a lot, and when he's home, he's usually so exhausted from his job that he can't really focus on anything else. A while ago, I started talking to this guy, 45M, on Instagram. He's a millionaire with a lot of wealth and connections, and at first, it was just harmless chatting and flirting. But then, things escalated. He started sending me luxury gifts, designer handbags, jewelry, watches. Then, he invited me to Europe for a few trips, which were absolutely amazing. I never imagined I'd get to experience things like that, and I won't lie, it felt great. We stayed at gorgeous hotels, dined at the best restaurants, and I got to see parts of the world I'd only dreamed of. I didn't plan for it to go this far, but over time, I realized I could use these gifts to make money for our family. I've started selling the luxury items he's given me, bags, jewelry, etc., and it's been really profitable. It's actually been a game changer. My husband is thrilled with the extra money, and it's made life so much easier for us. I've told him it's from a side hustle I started, and he's been really supportive. I've even used the extra money to pay down bills, buy things we needed, and make our lives more comfortable. I've been able to take care of a lot of things without him having to stress about it. But here's the thing, I still love my husband and want to stay with him. The more I've thought about it, the more I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I'm not planning to leave my husband for this guy. I know I'm not in love with the millionaire. But I've been using him for the luxury items to sell, and I've been lying about where the money's coming from. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but I'm trying to set my family up for a better future, and this extra money is helping us in ways I didn't think was possible. I'm feeling guilty because, while I've been able to make life easier for us financially, I'm also betraying my husband's trust by lying and cheating. I haven't told him about the actual truth because I'm scared he would be devastated. I'm not sure if what I'm doing is really that bad since it's all for our family, but I know it's dishonest. So, AITA for cheating on my husband with a millionaire, lying about where the extra money is coming from, but still wanting to stay with him and help provide for our family. Should I come clean to him, or is it justified, because I'm just trying to secure a better future for all of us?
Okay, so YTA, and honestly, I can't even with this. You're cheating on your husband with some millionaire, lying about it, and then acting like you're some kind of hero for helping your family by selling luxury stuff you're getting from him. Like, seriously? This is not a side hustle, this is straight up manipulation. You're using him for expensive gifts and trips and deceiving your husband about it. That's not helping, that's being selfish. You say you love your husband? If you did, you wouldn't be doing this. You're throwing away his trust for some designer bags and a European vacation, and you're acting like that's no big deal. You're literally choosing to lie to him, betray him, and justify it because you're getting shiny things. You know what would actually help your family? Honesty. Have an adult conversation with your husband about your financial struggles, maybe even work together to come up with a better plan instead of sneaking around and hiding behind a side hustle lie. Also, this "I'm not in love with him, I'm just using him" excuse is weak. You're clearly getting caught up in the thrill of it all, and now you're convincing yourself it's for a good cause. Newsflash, using people for your own gain is never okay, no matter what the excuse is. You're literally playing with fire, and it's only a matter of time before it all blows up in your face. If you care about your husband at all, come clean. Don't keep living in this fantasy. You're risking your entire family's future for what? Some luxury crap. Honestly, you need to get your priorities straight before it all implodes. YTA, and you really need to take a hard look at what you're doing here, because this is a mess.